Because their pipe money is often overloaded, this caused the upper evil groove to break into two pieces. However, there are no replacement parts in Pakistan. The smart master used ship dismantling steel plates to make it. After a series of processing, the scrapped pipe money can be used again. How did they do it? Today we will come to Peshawar Repair Shop to find out. The broken pipe money in front of us obviously cannot meet the requirements of glue bonding. In order to make the upper evil groove fully tighten, Fu plans to use ship dismantling steel plates to make it on site. The sample can not only keep the integrity of the upper jaw hook, but also the thickness of the plate can meet the original factory's use standards. After the master used the Yang Yi circle to carefully cut, the plate quickly showed the basic prototype. The upper jaw hook also needs to be processed with teeth. In order to allow the steel plate to be cut on the lathe, Fu directly welded it to a section of iron pipe. The sample steel plate can rotate along the iron pipe to realize the processing of the inner teeth. There are also rigid requirements for the pitch of the teeth. In order to be able to bite with the lower jaw hook teeth, it is also necessary to use the measurement of the card teeth to mark to ensure that the master's cutting can be more accurate. After confirmation, the cutting process can be carried out. Although their repair shop does not have a tooth washing machine, it only needs to be modified through a section of iron pipe. The lathe can also directly realize the function of tooth washing. This is the innovation ability of the Pakistani master. As the master processes according to the mark, the teeth meet the requirements of use. For convenience, the opening width can generally be freely adjusted in front of the pipe. When the adjusting nut is needed to make it telescopic and movable, the adjustment thread must be processed on the surface. This is also the reason why the master first cuts out a circle. Only in this way can the thread cutter be used for processing. When the master uses a caliper to confirm that the diameter is qualified, the original nut must be used to replicate the surface with the same thread. Considering that the temperature during processing is very high, the master must repeatedly apply grease to avoid unnecessary damage to the turning tool. Although it is not as effective as the cutting fluid with better effects, it can at least reduce the burden on the turning tool. After the thread depth is qualified, it is necessary to use the adjustment nut for rotation test. Slight jams can be adjusted by sandpaper grinding to ensure that the original nut can be. The basic function is realized. A square hole is reserved on the front of the pipe. In order to allow the upper jaw hook to be embedded in the interior, Fu will use the high-end washing bed in their store to process the side of the upper jaw hook. Both sides are processed into a standard plane, which can be used with the hole on the front of the pipe. After the thickness of the washing and disinfection meets the use requirements, the appearance of the upper groove is qualified. It can be normally embedded in the hole in front of the pipe, but the current tooth hardness is definitely not durable. In order to avoid the teeth from breaking in future use, Fu will use a torch to continuously heat the surface to continuously increase the temperature of the upper groove. After the temperature reaches the critical point, it is directly placed in salt water for brittle fire treatment. This can not only increase the strength and hardness, but also prevent brittle fire, abrupt changes, and cracking. Then spray anti-rust paint on its surface to prevent rust in the future. It can make the front of the gun look more like a brand new one. After spraying the front of the gun with the original red paint, the master also needs to assemble the upper jaw hook to ensure that Rome will not jump out of the scale. The jaw hook must also be able to achieve a tight fit. So this broken and scrapped large front of the gun was repaired with a ship dismantling steel plate. What do you think of the skills of the Pakistani master?